Some of y'all might remember the short-lived Legend of Zelda animated series that aired from September 8th to, I believe, December 1st of 1989 for a total of 13 episodes. And if you do remember, you have my deepest condolences. Produced by the dubiously named Deke Entertainment and distributed by Viacom, this cel-shaded calamity was shown on Fridays as part of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. It was loosely based on the first Legend of Zelda game, with an emphasis on loosely. We get the classic battle between good and evil present in all Zelda titles, but the characters involved are these Saturday Night Live-esque caricatures of their video game counterparts. Link, the silent warrior whose sole purpose in life is saving Hyrule, has been replaced by this whiny Scott Wolf-looking motherfucker with a fun-sized sword and a libido bigger than Death Mountain, while Ganon, arguably one of the coolest villains in gaming history, is reduced to this weird blend of Skeletor and a Deep South Meemaw who sends her grandkids to the gas station for a pack of smokes and $10 in lotto tickets. Fortunately, Zelda fares a bit better. Instead of constantly getting kidnapped, she actually gets off her regal ass and helps defend her kingdom. A definite improvement in one of the better versions of the character. Now, having said all that, I'm sure it sounds like I hated this show as a kid, but no, not at all. Not at all, man. The Legend of Zelda, the animated series, combined ridiculous, over-the-top characters, cliche plots, and enough 80s cheese to clog the whole Morning Glory spillway. And I loved every single minute of it, y'all. So today, I want to look at the first episode and finally find out if my enjoyment for this forgotten slice of televised schlock is the real deal, or just the nostalgia-fueled delusions of an aging millennial. And with all that out of the way, let's do this thing. Every episode starts off with one of the most misleading intros in TV history. It explains the overall plot while showcasing Link engaged in various acts of heroism, all to a grand orchestral rendition of the classic Zelda theme. It's pretty amazing, I ain't gonna lie. And the uninitiated viewer might assume they're in for this action-packed fantasy adventure on par with the source material. Then Link and Zelda open their mouths, and any sense of intensity or gravitas immediately goes flying out the window, and it never, ever comes back. But on the bright side, we're given one of the most repeatable and enduring catchphrases of the late 80s.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
The first episode is titled The Ringer and starts off in a picturesque Hyrule castle where we're introduced to Link. And within 2 lines of dialogue, we learn all we need to know about this dude and his character.
Ugh, another beautiful day in the magical kingdom of Hyrule. Boring place.
Apparently, he's already saved Hyrule in this adaptation and is semi-retired. Instead of fighting monsters and adventuring across the land and all that cool stuff, he spends his days babysitting the Triforce of Wisdom from the comfort of his royal quarters and refusing to accept his well-earned status as a washed-up has-been. His only break from the monotony of castle life is ogling Zelda, who is, let's say, none too pleased about being spied on. Fortunately for her, Sprite the Fairy, a character created specifically for this show, is there to help shield her mistress's complete absence of visible cleavage from Link's lecherous gaze. Consider her a type of proto-Navi, but instead of helping Link target enemies and find useful items, she's more interested in drawing his master sword, if you know what I mean. Zelda goes back inside and Link gets attacked by moblins that sneak into his room through a conveniently placed trapdoor in the floor. I guess Hyrule Castle was built by that same cat who designed the Spencer Mansion.
What is this?
The design of these moblins is a lot like their appearance in the games, resembling these pig-bulldog hybrids. Looking at them, I could swear I seen them somewhere else before though. The moblins try to violate our boy, and despite getting a jump on him, they're about as combat ready as the Night's Watch.
I yield! Please no more!
Link pulls out baby's first Master Sword and blasts the fuck out of him. Then he picks up this admittedly cool looking bow the Moblins left behind and decides to keep it as a souvenir. A few seconds later, Zelda knocks on his door. Link thinks he's gonna get a kiss for protecting the Triforce, but gets chin-checked instead. Zelda warns him never to whistle at her again, then starts complaining about how messy his room is. That's when we get our first "Excuse me, princess" #1 of like 50, 1100.
Excuse me, princess.
Link tells her about the Moblin attack, saying there were like 15 of them, just lying his half-naked off. For some reason, Zelda believes him. She apologizes for giving him a permanent case of TMJ and talks about how Ganon is always attacking Hyrule and that they need to stay on their guard. And of course by they, she means Link, just like in the games. Zelda grounds Link, telling him to stay in his room and guard the Triforce. Link whines like a little because he wants to go out and play, but Zelda ain't hearing it and leaves to go judge some amateur magician's contest or something. Even though Hyrule is under constant threat of destruction, the monarchy still makes time for fun and games. Seems kind of stupid to me, but hey, at least the brainless NPC peasants will be entertained while their fields burn and their homes are being raided by skeletons and mutant pigmen. We then switch to Ganon's lair, where we find the G-Man himself looking like a dapper Don in the Navy pimp robe. He yells at the Moblins Link murked earlier. Apparently in this version of Zelda, Link don't flatline his enemies, they just end up inside Ganon's smoky crystal ball. That's where the G-Man keeps his army, kinda like the containment unit from Ghostbusters, but less spooky and a lot stupider. Ganon yells at the Moblins some more, then does some Lord Zeno shit and erases him. I guess he erases him. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, since death in this series is kind of weird. In any case, they're gone, so that's that. On a side note, I gotta say, this is the most unhinged version of Ganon I have ever seen, y'all. Dude can't sit still for 2 seconds, whines all the damn time, and his voice is always set to max volume. Blast! You idiots! Plus, you got them John Leguizamo teeth. I'm not trying to be mean. I am not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. Anyway, Ganon and all his teeth want to steal the Triforce of Wisdom, and since his minions ain't up to the task, he decides to do it himself by entering that magician's contest Zelda was talking about earlier. And I gotta say, it's actually a pretty good plan. So he puts on his Aghanim fit and gets ready to go, but not before the Triforce of Power states the obvious.
But you're no amateur. You're a pro.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that Ganon sort of has the Triforce of Power. How did he get it? Who knows? Where is the Triforce of Courage? Also, who knows? In the end, it don't really matter, y'all. In this series, the Triforces might as well be trained parrots, just hanging around, mostly doing nothing and occasionally spitting out canned dialogue. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention the Triforces can talk in this series, so yeah, there's that too. But yeah, Ganon summons a posse of stout foes and starts making his way to Hyrule Castle. Over in the castle courtyard, Zelda is judging the magician's contest. This great value Merlin mother tries to do a magic trick and flops like Bob Sapp once the check clears. Ganon clowns him, then enters the contest. While he's waiting for his turn, he sends a Keese to see if anyone's guarding the Triforce of Wisdom. The Keese flies up to Link's window and sees our boy and Sprite chatting it up. Link wants to get in Zelda's drawers and ask Sprite for advice, but Sprite's like, nah, fuck her, get with me instead. Just straight up conniving. Anyway, the Keese goes back to the courtyard and reports to Ganon, who plans to lure Link away from the Triforce by turning a lizard into a fire-breathing dragon. Zelda screams for help and Link comes swinging in like Tarzan or some shit. Link fights the dragon for all of 5 seconds before he and Zelda take it down in the most anticlimactic ending to a boss fight since Batman vs. the Electrocutioner. Just flat out pathetic. Zelda shows our boy Link zero appreciation and reminds him that he's supposed to be guarding the Triforce. Then they hear Sprite screaming. Back in Link's room, Not Navi is trying to protect the Triforce from Ganon. The fight goes about as well as you'd expect. Ganon grabs the Triforce and starts gloating, but the Triforce don't like his attitude and gives him some lip. Ganon tells it to shut up, then does his signature atomic leg drop out the window. After shattering his spine into a million pieces, he orders his minions to get him the hell out of Castletown. Meanwhile, Link, Zelda, and Great Value Merlin just stand there and do nothing. Eventually, their brains start working again and Zelda comes up with a plan. Great Value Merlin creates this giant vine that Link and Zelda use as a catapult. And using the power of cartoon physics, they not only catch up to Ganon, but also survive a 50-foot drop to the ground below. Link stops Ganon from escaping and makes him eat dirt like a bozo. Ganon gets scared and summons his bootleg Sheikah Tower. A whole bunch of goons come out and Link, being the master strategist that he is, ties himself and Zelda together, limiting their speed and mobility and turning them into one big target for their enemies. And this is the dude who's supposed to save Hyrule. Okay. Somehow Link's dumb strategy seems to be working. During all the commotion, Ganon tries to scoop with the Triforce, but he stops to give one of his goons a boxing lesson like he's Doc Lewis or something.
Oh, you imbeciles! Get them like this!
No lie, y'all. This is the funniest part in the entire episode, maybe the entire series. I mean, just look at this cat, man. Ganon, evil demon king of the Gerudo and master of that sweet, sweet science. But I guess the training session didn't work because Ganon tries to take matters into his own hands and throws his BDSM toy at Link. He ends up accidentally taking out his own crew, then gets lit up by Zelda. His last homeboy tries to step up only to get his bony wig split. And at this point, Ganon tries to run away but gets blown the fuck up. And with that, the Triforce is safe and everything is right in the world again. Well, almost everything. Link wants a kiss in exchange for saving the day and holds Zelda hostage until she agrees to give him one. But Sprite shows up and slaps that old blue balls and chains on our boy Link. So sad. Lastly, we see Ganon slumming it in his own monster terrarium, and in typical children's cartoon fashion, he swears vengeance on our heroes, yada 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 the end. So yeah, that is The Legend of Zelda, Episode 1. Overall, it was bad. Real bad. But I ain't gonna sit here and say I didn't enjoy it. The story and the characters were goofy as all hell, but it's the right kind of goofy. Link and Zelda were both snarky jackasses, and I like the whole will they, won't they thing they had going on. It was cute. But that boy Ganon stole the whole show. He stole the show, then sold it for $2 at the pawn shop down the street. Easily the most pathetic version of the character, but dude had me rolling every single time he came around, so he gets my official seal of approval. Full stop. Anyway, I plan to look at more episodes in the future, so y'all stay tuned. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give your boy that like and subscribe two-piece. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, y'all be easy, and I'll see you on the next go round.